At what age should children start building fitness into the routine? It's kind of a flawed question, because if you try to make something a routine for children, the chances are they're going to see it as a chore. And this is the very last thing that we want them to think about in terms of exercise and fitness. We want it to be something that they look forward to. We want it to be a daily, not a treat, but a daily, a reward for working hard at school, a reward for being good, is getting the chance to go outside and play. It's getting the chance to do some kind of exercise. It's getting the chance to get out of breath and get their endorphins flying. This is what we need to do with fitness for children. So the single most important thing is finding something that they enjoy. You don't push them into it. You don't make it become another aspect of a school lesson. You make it something that they can do. It doesn't have to be something that they do with their friends, because it's about the individual child. Some people prefer to be solo. Some people prefer doing things with their mates. Your job as a parent is to identify what your child enjoys doing within the realms of health and fitness and encourage. So it's encourage, it's not dictate what they do. And then it's give them every opportunity, because children are going to wax and wane. And it's very frustrating for parents. You want to push them into the things that you know are best, applying your own personal bias, of course. And your children are not merely vessels to do what for you to fill up with your own knowledge. They're individuals in their own right, and they're going to have things that they like that you don't understand, and vice versa. So again, a really important part of our job as parents is to give them the opportunity to try many, many things. Also, if you want to build the perfect athlete, if we move into something a little bit more serious, if you want to build a perfect athlete, you don't have them specialize until they're 12 or 13 or 14 years of age. Before then, the single best thing that you can do for your child, if you want them to become a superstar sports person, is to get them to do lots of things. Because the more things that they do, the more coordination they build up, the more base skills, proprioception, all these kind of things that they build up. So ultimately, specialization comes later in life, in their teen years, as adolescence kicks in. And to kind of answer the question from a slightly different angle, at what age should they be building exercise into the routine? From the minute that they're born, as a parent, we should be building exercise into their daily lives so that they have a love and an appreciation of moving their bodies. Simple as that. Simple as that. There's no more complicated an answer needed. As they get older, you may be wondering, can they take instruction? You may be thinking something more formal. At what age can they start weight training? Again, they can start weight training at any age, really. They can start weight training whenever you want them to weight train, with the following qualifications. Young children are not, very rarely, going to take instruction so that they have. They're very rarely going to take instruction in a focused manner to learn movement safely. So, I wouldn't be having an 8-year-old do a bench press. But a lot of people fall into the trap of thinking that weight training is bad. They used to say that weight training would fuse the bone plates that are required to kind of stay open for growth. Once they're fused, your bones won't get any longer. This is utter rubbish. The way for me to explain this so that you all understand this is utter rubbish is this. The idea that the force of weight training will fuse the bone plates. So the idea that, maybe doing a few curls will fuse the bone plates, versus have you watched children play? Have you watched toddlers jump? Have you watched 8-year-olds jump, 5-year-olds jump? Can you imagine the forces going through their bones? Do you think running, which we would all want children to do as much as possible, right? Do you think running, sprinting, jumping, leaping, falling puts more pressure on the skeleton than a bit of weight training? I do. We know that that doesn't fuse the bone plates. I mean, it doesn't. It's a myth. It's a myth. I wouldn't have children weight train until they're old enough to want to do it and old enough to feel that they can, to appreciate a routine, a formal routine. My son is 10. Obviously, he has been heavily influenced by me, and he's still not quite at that stage where he wants to take on a formal training program. He does Krav Maga, he does Jiu-Jitsu, he competes in basketball, this kind of thing. And in the summer, we do a little bit more of a focused weight training routine now. My 8-year-old daughter doesn't do it yet. Give it another year or two with my son, and it's going to be, when he's 11, 12, and his puberty really starts to hit with him. If he wants to do it, we will do it. How will we do it? I'll have him master his body weight. The first thing that you want children to do is to be able to master their body weight. Again, because not only is that going to be those kind of primal movements that are absolutely essential for life and healthy movement, these are also the things that will have the greatest carryover for them in every other sporting endeavour that they might wish to pursue. The second part of this question, though, is this, because we've talked about exercise. What about healthy eating and a healthy eating regime? Well, it shouldn't be seen as a regime. Healthy eating is just a non-negotiable. From the very, very start, you should be feeding your children in a way that their taste buds don't like junk food. If you've got a junk food habit, I used to have a Diet Coke habit. You've got a Diet Coke habit, and then you break it for a few months and you go back to drinking Diet Coke, and then it tastes like a chemical shitstorm. It's awful. Children's taste buds are more refined than ours. We blunt ours as adults. So you start them young, you start them on vegetables. You hear about children that won't eat greens. This is the parents' fault. It's the parents' fault. If you had them eating greens from before they've really got the agency to push it back on you, it's not going to happen. So you start from there and you educate them. And how the best way to educate children? Lead by example. You don't have to demonize food. It's not like you say to them, you can't have that bowl of ice cream or you can't have that pizza. You don't say that. But you balance it out. And you tell them, we have pizza in moderation on occasion. On occasion, it does nobody any harm. Again, so that they don't obsess with this food. So they have healthy relationships with food. But you educate them on the importance of eating well. And you don't go, you must eat well. You say to them, you must eat well. Do you want to be tall when you're older? Do you want to be smart? Do you want to be strong? You say to your little girl, do you want to have beautiful hair? Do you want to have good skin? Whatever the triggers are for the child, good nutrition, sleeping properly, all aspects of health and fitness, you will find a trigger for your child, for your individual child, if you just engage your brain for half a second.